This next panel is under the direction of Daren Carstens. Daren is the president of Carstens Studios. He started making software back about 10 years ago or so, or more. Came out of the textbook industry and made a program called Math Arena. He himself is an author of several apps, and Daren is going to be moderating this. Are you ready, Daren?
I'm ready.
All right.
Is there scanning? We're still testing up here. While they're getting the tech part done, our talk's going to be on ebooks, but as I talk to more and more people, the definition of what an ebook starts to get fuzzy. And so I really like the idea of it being digital media for kids. And one of the things that I've noticed is we have all these really amazing devices coming out. But none of those devices are worth anything, right? They're just dead devices unless you have good content. And especially for kids, not only does it have to be good content, but it needs to be safe. And kids need to have a way to get to it. So we have a great panel here of people that I think helps us look at what I think is the most important thing, which is content. And we're going to have kind of a quick story through, starting with how do you design a place where kids can actually get to the content, kind of provide a safe place. I always love the library in our little neighborhood because we know there's the little kids section, and we know it's a safe place where our kids can be. So we're going to talk about that. We have two award-winning providers of content who have created, authors and publishers. We're going to look at them. I'm not going to tell you their names until we get to them. And then we're going to end up with a representative of the actual users, because we need to remember about the users. And we have a really neat review team. And it's a nice contrasting team. Age-wise, I think it's 11 and... Remember.
You don't want to go there, Daren, but it's a few decades different.
So I'd like to just introduce our first person. It's Wendy Bronfin. She is the director of Kids Digital Products Group at Barnes & Noble. She led the development of the Nook Kids. She has a great background of doing technology for kids and educational things, and she's going to help show us the idea of designing really a safe place where kids can get to that content. So, Wendy.
Go right ahead. Okay, so here's the Nook tablet, and it's a 7-inch Android device that wasn't in the device panel conversation, but I encourage everybody to take a look at it, go by Barnes & Noble, give it a try. There are actually 3 different Nook readers that Barnes & Noble has. So really, I like to talk about this as a reader for everybody in the family, and I love the idea also of families sharing devices and passing them back. And we've got readers that sort of fit every need. So our Simple Touch is an e-ink reader. And then Nook Color and Nook Tablet are our 2 color reader devices. The Nook Tablet has much richer experiences in terms of multimedia display. But I'm going to focus my conversation on all the picture book stuff. And just as we were talking earlier, we're very much in the infancy of families adopting digital picture books with their kids. And things have been changing so dramatically and so rapidly. 2 years ago, there wasn't such a thing as a digital picture book for children, and now there are. And we do a lot of research with families. We're kind of maniacal about talking to families as we create experiences for kids. And a lot of parents were saying to us, I'm not sure that I want to be doing e-reading with my kid. But as we're talking to customers who do, parents who are reading with their kids, 93% of them are saying, hey, reading a book with my kid is so valuable, whether it's digital or physical. And 93% of families feel great about reading with their kids. So it just flows into the conversation we were having earlier about reading together. So let me talk to you a little bit about Nook Kids. Nook Kids is a collection of digital picture books that we've made available for the Nook. And really it's about offering all of the great, wonderful stories that I grew up with as a kid, and now digitizing them and bringing them forward for a new generation. One of the mantras that we have at Barnes & Noble when we talk about digital picture books is we spend a lot of time saying, well, books aren't broken, right? We don't feel obligated to recreate what is a picture book for kids. What we're doing is carefully translating these classic stories and new favorites too to a new platform for families. And what's important is that we have a really wide variety of content for kids. So books that appeal to boys, books that appeal to girls, books that appeal to every different reader that there is, popular characters, new characters. We've actually found the book in the bottom left corner there is called Shark versus Trains, and we've found that there are a lot of reluctant boy readers who are very interested in reading digitally. It's just something that we're learning about. The other thing is that within the digital picture book world at Barnes & Noble, we offer tiers of interactivity. So sometimes you're in the mood to just have a very quiet reading experience, and you can do that. Just read a digital book by yourself. Sometimes you may be in the mood to have that book read to you. So we've incorporated something called the Read to Me experience, where books can be narrated for kids. And you can, this shows here just a Winnie the Pooh book with a little bit of text enlargement. And you can tell we sort of carefully place text enlargement so that we sort of preserve always the illustrations on the pages, and we make sure we don't cover them up and things like that. The Read to Me mode can always be turned off. So it's that thing where, I don't know how many people here are parents, but you read Winnie the Pooh to your kid, and it's a great experience, and on the 11th time you've read that storybook that week, you're like, just let me go make dinner and give you something to do by yourself, so kids can just turn on the Read to Me mode and have the story read to themselves. We've also got what we call read and play experience, where kids can interact with stories and picture books. And I told you earlier that we talk a lot about how books aren't broken, but there are tons of places where you can you can take advantage of technology and make the book experience a little bit more immersive. And the things that we do to build interactivity into the books are sort of the things that I think parents do when they're reading with their kids in their lap. So this is a spread from one of my favorite books, Go Dog Go, and the text on this page is the dogs are all going around and around and around. This page is teaching kids about going around. When P.D. Eastman created this page and illustrated it, he didn't have the ability to let kids make the dogs go around, but we did. So what you're seeing there is a little finger that taps, and when you tap there, the dogs go around and around and around. And there are other pages in the book where the dogs go up and down, and kids can use their fingers to move the dogs up and down and that kind of stuff. But the interactivity is always on the plot line. So I'm going to show you a demo, which I hope will work here, of one of our read and play books. Whoa, it might not play. Oh. I'll come back to it because there's somebody in the audience that I need to see this. Another great enhancement we put with the... No, I'll do it. I think I can do it on here. Another great thing we did with the new Nook tablet, there's a microphone in here. And one of the great things that we've done is we've incorporated a new thing called read and record. So kids, grandparents, parents can all read a story and record their own voices. And when we were testing this with kids in our offices, I have never had such a giggle fest in all my life of testing with kids. I mean, the kids were like listening to their parents read stories and hearing their voices play back, and then these really shy, reluctant kids were reading pages and re-recording them and saving them for themselves, and then they get to like save a little icon of their image and then play back their own narrations all the time. And I just love the idea of having, you know, a keepsake, a family keepsake of your 4-year-old reading Go Dog Go, and, you know, instead of like the little naked butt on the bearskin rug picture that you show the boyfriends when they grow up, you've got these adorable little stories. So we're very proud of the work that we do at Barnes & Noble and in the Nook family for creating content for kids. It's really important to everybody at Nook and at Barnes & Noble that we really pay attention to the needs of young readers and families. We were also, as we were talking, Daren and I, about, so how do you, it's great if you make these wonderful experiences, but you got to get everybody using them, right? There's nothing worse for all the developers in the room than making great content, but the kids can't get to it. So we're launching these massive Nook boutiques nationwide in Barnes & Noble stores for anybody who's a little bit afraid of technology. They shouldn't be in this case. They can come into any Barnes & Noble, pick up a Nook, give it a try. There's a special section in the boutiques that's dedicated just to kid content and little places for kids to sit and try everything out. And you had asked us all to come up with their favorite book that starts with the letter E.
Yes, that's correct. At first, they told me ebooks. I thought we were going to have just a talk about our favorite book that started with the letter E. So I was going. And then Warren straightened me out. But
oh, you
yes,
did? Oh, well, I couldn't.
But what is your favorite
My
ebook?
favorite book that has more than one letter E in the title,
because
I misbehaved, is this Pete the Cat thing. This is an adorable book about a cat that steps in strawberries and his shoes turn red. He steps in blueberries, his shoes turn blue, and the kids can change the shoes colors and all that kind of stuff. And there's an intended song in all of this, so it's a great experience that when you're reading this book, you can sing the song, but if you're like me and your children do not want to hear you sing the song, it's in there for it. And I just think this is a great example of letting technology really enhance a book.
Great.
So thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Our next panelist is Kate Wilson. She's the managing director from Nosy Crow. She's also will be receiving a prize, the Cappy Prize, for her apps. Like I said, it's really nice to be able to see what good quality apps are like. One of the things we've seen with the App Store, one of the good things is all of a sudden many people can publish, right? One of the bad things is that many people can publish. So you have a lot of things hitting the market and the quality is questionable. So it's really nice to see work where the quality is exceptional. And I think Kate's one of those people. She also has a background in, I guess the opposite of ebooks would be p-books, for paper-based,
cool.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So she has a background in paper-based and continues to do paper-based also. So,
thank you. Can everybody hear me? I can't work out if this is on. Is it?
Yep.
Thank you. It's an incredible privilege to be here. And we are, as Daren said, publishers of ebooks and print books and also of apps. Nosy Crow is, as I say, a publishing company. The apps are iOS at the moment, though we've just got our third app actually now, which is the simplest of them, running on a Samsung tab. So I think if we can do that, then we can Androidize them with relative simplicity. We're London-based, as you will guess from the accent. We're small, we're independent, we're very new. We've been publishing only for a year in either print or digitally or in terms of apps. From the beginning, we very much saw ourselves as a print and digital publishing company. When material comes in, we don't think about it we think about it in a completely media neutral or media neutral way. We work out whether or not when something comes in, it feels like an app to us or it feels like a print book to us. We are a mix of people from a traditional publishing background. I ran Scholastic in the UK for about 5 years, and we also have people from a gaming background, so people who work for a games company that some of you may know called Rare, which was bought by Microsoft. So we were always a collective that was this mix of gaming and print-based. One of the things that we found, and this is a conversation I was having with Daren yesterday, was that making apps is very different from making books in our experience, and even making straight ebooks. It's a much more collaborative experience. And certainly the work that we've done so far has been work that we have effectively authored pretty much end-to-end ourselves. That's changing, and in 2012 we will have more people coming in who are perhaps more traditionally sorts of people that we might define as authors or illustrators. But at the moment, we've made these apps ourselves. I said I was from a publishing background, and that's really important to me. I've been working in publishing for a long time, and children's literacy is hugely important, I think. It's an agent of social change, it's an agent of imaginative change, it's an agent of educational change. For me, the importance of children reading for pleasure can't be overstated as a way into literacy. And there are lots of studies that say that the more kids want to read, the more kids enjoy reading, the more they do read, and the better they get at it. It's quite scary to think that we've been writing as a species for 5,000 years. We've been writing words. But the history of mass literacy is perhaps only less than 200 years old. What I think is really important is that in the context of children spending more and more time on screens, we are not faced with something that means that mass literacy was a 200-year blip. I think that's something we all really need to think about. But if children are spending time on screens, I think what's important is that we bring to them reading experiences on screens that are at least as compelling as the other things they find on screens. Can I have a quick show of hands of the people who've seen that little video of she's a French baby playing with a French magazine, and she thinks that the magazine is a broken iPad. We need to be really sure that we are delivering reading experiences that are not on screens, that do not feel to children as if they are broken. And I think for us, that means making reading experiences that are created specifically for the device and that are interactive and multimedia. I'm Kate at nosycrow.com if you want to get in touch with me, and I'm here to answer questions if that would be helpful to you.
That was awesome. Now, once again, that is what good stuff looks like. And we're going to follow that up with our next guest, is Marc Schlicting. He's the president from Noodle Works. He's also receiving a Cappy Award for his work. We also think of him as a pioneer because he's also known for, who here is familiar with living books?
Yes.
Right?
Asking people's age.
That's Marc. So once again, you can learn a lot from this guy. Marc, what do you got?
Thank you, Daren, and thank you. That was great. What Daren didn't mention was that Cinderella won for the best ebook of the year.
Yes.
That's right. So.
All these awards things, by the way, a full disclosure, the only way we can lure these guys from the UK and to California here is by offering them an award. So it's kind of like a behaviorist way to get them.
Yeah, that's right.
Came to accept your awards.
Thank you. Thank you. So before I jump into this, it's when we were talking about the Nook there, it sounds like, well, ebooks are new. But actually, we released our first ebook back. It was a CD-ROM 20 years ago now. And our first title back then was Just Grandma and Me. And I think it sold somewhere between 10 and 14,000 million copies. And so it's like we think about the market. Now, there was a market then, and there continues to be a market. And the most sort of interesting thing for me is watching how it all evolves. In thinking about what makes a good ebook, a lot of the same things that make a good ebook is really what makes good interactive software. You're looking at your watch already? Oh, no. Okay. So this is our new product, which won for Best Educational App of the Year.
Okay, sir.
And it's all about what if words were toys. And that's where the idea for it came from. So we're sort of in the middle of the app here. So if I tap on it, it spins. Oh, where's my audio? Audio, guys? Let's see.
Just you fiddle with it and it sort of comes back.
Nice. It should be
It's
on.
not you, it's that thing.
It's this
Just
thing?
wiggle it. There. Wiggle that.
Spin.
Wiggle.
Okay.
It's a wiggle.
So and if I hold my finger down on it, I can move it around. And
Spinning.
If I move to the characters, it affects them. And you click on the box.
Surprise!
And you get another word. And each of the bugs have their own buttons. So if I click on the little button,
Surprise!
actually, yes.
You have to have a kid sitting right here. Would
Yes.
you mind? Could she just try a couple things?
Well, let me. I get to demo a little bit here. Excuse me.
He's come all the way.
I'm very open to that. I'm very open to that.
Shake!
So really, it's a toy. This is a toy. You know, there's when we were testing it with kids, there was the 4 to 7 year old range is really who it's for, emerging readers, and we had some 8 and 9 year olds come in and play it, and they'd go, "I like it, but I don't know why," and they'd say because they were already readers, and they'd say they give us a lot of great ideas for games, but everybody in the 4 to 7 age wanted more characters. They wanted the characters to do things. So we went back and had to add 4 times as many pieces of animation.
Stretch.
So the kids in, I think having kids in part of your design process
Stretch.
is always really an important thing. So here,
Stretch.
tap on it, hold it.
Stretch.
You can pull it back.
Stretch.
And then, of course, as soon as the kids get a hold of it, they go, "Well, what happens if I do that? When I hit the bugs?" So we had to go in and make it hit the bugs. And the kid piece of our design was they were always informing us as we went along.
Eat. Eat.
And then we tap on the word eat.
Eight. Run. Run. Run.
Then you have to stop it, hit it by tapping on it. And if you hold it down,
Run.
it runs. And then when you pull it down by the bugs, so there's always a reaction for the bugs. You always can make the bugs do something while you're playing. And on this page, this was going to be just a picker page where you picked it and then it went there. But what we found is that kids were going,
Pop. Drop. Dance. Drop. Pop. Grow.
and so we had to go in and
Bubble.
let them play with it. And that begins to put you into the place that's important about what a lot of people designing software miss is that ability to interrupt everything. So, you know, if I'm over on, say, drop.
Drop. Drop. Drop. Drop. Drop. Drop. Drop.
This is how kids want to play with things. They want to interrupt it. And let's pick another one here.
Bubble. Bubble.
So in the being able to interrupt things category, what we found is that kids were doing this.
Eat. Run. Spin. Dance.
And rapid tap, and they were crashing the program, so we had to go out and figure out a system for making it work on rapid tap. So now when people ask me about design, I say, well, you got pinch, and you got open, and you got swipe, and you got tap, and you got rapid tap, because that's how so many of the kids really want to play. And I think I'm probably just about out of time here, right, Daren? So I want to wind up before it's done, but I think the idea, this echoes what you've been hearing a lot about play. This is about intrinsic play, that kids are all about wanting to understand how the universe works. And you can get them initially engaged in something, they will go and learn. And we found that this was a particularly good product for kids who were word resistant. You know, sometimes kids see you have an iPad and you come over to you, and then they see it's words and they go, "Oh, I don't do words," you know. And then we get them playing, and they do words. And what we found is that kids were just absorbing these words like without even realizing that they were learning, because the gameplay was the important part of it all. Thank you.
And now to round off our panel, we have a great reviewing duo here. I like to think of them as the spectrum of reviewers. We have Caitlyn Trell, who is I'm going to keep saying, is 11 years old, and on her side of the spectrum, she's a young, energetic, intelligent, upcoming star. And on the other side of the spectrum, we have
Me, probably.
we have
Daren, you don't even go there.
I have old, well seasoned, and experienced.
Wise.
And I think we're going to use the camera, and Caitlyn has brought a lot of stuff to share with us.
guess it's our turn, right? So what'd you think of Marc's app? Let's start with that.
It was pretty cool. I like how you can like touch the bugs and everything.
Just curious, this CES, I saw you 365 days ago, right? And we're both reviewers. Anything impressed you?
The Toasty thing, they had a bunch of cool robots there. Like there's this robot where you hooked it up to your computer and you choose a picture and then it draws it for you.
The Toasty?
Yeah, it's a company. Their robot is called the Sketch Robot.
Sketch robot. Okay, cool. Anything else?
And
Look at you.
oh,
That's pretty weird.
and they also had more than one robot. They had 3. There's another one that dances. You put on music and it'll dance.
Okay.
And then the one that Justin Bieber was there, he introduced this one that's like, it's a speaker and then it turns into a robot and walks and dances and talks.
Did you see Justin Bieber the other day?
Well,
was he
I
there?
saw the top of his head, but there was a lot of
That's all you have to see, I guess. Did you see the Justin Bieber talking Barbie doll? I mean, Ken.
No.
I mean, it was Ken with Justin Bieber hair.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
No.
And you pressed it. I thought that was fun. All right. Well, we wanted to play with some apps real fast because we just have a few seconds here. We have Disney App Mates here, and I wanted to talk about that because we're really interested in the relation between the iPad and multi-touch screens and toys, right? Did you look at the Maker 3D printer down there? This was a misprint, a paper jam. I pulled it out, and I thought that was amazing. And what do we got here?
So here's
This is going to have to be our last one because we're really short on time.
Okay. So you click on Start Reading, and Bobo, that's the little robot right there. He's the one that guides you through all the topics. So if you click on this button, it takes you back to the screen where all the table of contents are. So you can go through all of them and then choose which one you want. And then it'll say the topic right there, and it'll have a little thing about it. And then, like, sometimes you can play with them. Like this girl, you can move her hair. And then there's little strings there, and you pull them, and then that pulls up. It's pretty cool. And then if you click on that sometimes, it'll show you what he's looking at.
All right. Boy, all these people here, what should we tell them about what we want to see next year? If you had $1 million, what do you think this industry needs? More apps?
More electronics.
Oh, that's good. Good show for that. More electronics people. Anything specifically, are there any products that really struck you over the past year, or that I didn't know about?
Not really.
Okay, anything that you didn't like?
Well, I kind of liked all of them, but yeah, I kind of liked all of them.
What do you think of Siri? Because she's talking out there.
Oh yeah. Oh, I like Siri. Like if you say you're mad at her, sometimes she'll get like, you know what they always say, don't blame the messenger, and then she'll get mad at you and she'll say something. It's
And
funny.
I think that we might end on this by saying that we like smart things that don't talk down to us. We like responsive things that give us feelings of control and show us the world and cool things, but let us sort of drive the action. Is that fair?
Yeah.
Can I speak for all the kids out there to say that? And that, like, you see your little sister down there?
Yeah.
She's not playing with anything electronic.
She's got a horn.
She's playing with something that's kept her engaged for about probably 5 minutes. Can you hold that up and can we see what she's been playing with? She's 2 years old. Still got your video. Can you hold it really high? Because just you see, this is an app
You have to do it with the camera.
called the Cornet. It's the real deal. And that is just to say, it's all about balance, right? All about balance. There it is.
There she is.
Yay.
All right.
The other important thing is what you're looking at right now. I think everybody in this room probably agree is that's really what this is all about, right? It's really all about the kids and providing things for the kids. And I think sometimes when we get into our deadlines and trying to meet meetings and things like that, it's easy to kind of forget the importance of why we're here. So every once in a while, remind yourself that the reason we're here, it's for the kids.
Daren, I'm going to take your picture. That was so good.
Well, thank you, sir. And I'd like to thank our panelists. You guys all did awesome.
Thank you.